so many flakes were flying all over, with so many people condemning Ali Ndume and some other people commending him. But the major talking point is that Ali Ndume, who was before now an ardent follower and supporter of President Muhammadu Buhari, started falling out with him when they had the Senate presidency tussle. The Senate presidency tussle was a major fallout point between Ali Ndume and President Muhammadu Buhari, when Buhari threw his weight behind Ahmed Lawan. And since then, anything that comes from Ali Ndume is seen in the prism of Ali Ndume not liking the president. But like always would say, look at the message, look at the messenger, and sieve out that which will be beneficial, to you. Okay, that is that on the Ali Ndume telling President Muhammadu Buhari to sack his cabinet. Is a call for, is it necessary? What's your take on that? We'll get to know. Now the second item has to do with the national identity number that every Nigerian is required to have if they must hold or operate any mobile device that is dependent on mobile telecommunication backbone. And the Minister for Digital, the Minister for Communication and Digital Economy, Pantami. They then just skipped and my device is just freezing up. Adds that every Nigerian must have their national identity number linked to every SIM card that is to be used in Nigeria. And they gave a deadline, and now every Nigerian is required to do that. Of course, they have increased their enrollment centers, but the volume or the number of Nigerians that are going out to get enrolled seem to be overwhelming this center. And like you know, with most Nigerians, once it comes to things like this, people start to cut corners. And recently, there have been reports from all across the country that those that are in charge of enrolling Nigerians are collecting monies ranging from 300 naira to up to 10,000 naira. This, of course, is something that is a major problem, because with this kind of attitude, that way of life that we want to change in the Nigerian, is it changing in any way? How can this be done in such a way that every Nigerian will get registered without this stampede that is leading to cutting corners and creating room for corrupt practices? That is on that. We'll talk about it, and let's have suggestions and of course contributions. Then the third one, which is one that many Nigerians cried out over in the past few days, when there was a rumor that there has been a 50% increment in the electricity tariff, and as a result of that, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, came out with publication, and I'll just briefly read through the publication, which is public notice on purported 50% increase in electricity tariffs. The attention of the Commission has been drawn to publications in the print and electronic media misinforming electricity consumers that the Commission has approved a 50% increase in electricity tariffs. The Commission hereby states unequivocally that no approval has been granted for a 50% tariff increase in the tariff order for electricity distribution companies, which took effect on the 1st of January this year. On the contrary, the tariffs for customers on service band D and E, that's customers being served less than an average of 12 hours of supply per day over a period of 1 month, remains frozen and subsidized in line with the policy direction of the federal government. In compliance with the provision of the EPSR Act, the nation's tariff methodology for biannual minor reviews, the rates for The service band A, B, C, D, and E have been adjusted by 2 naira to 4 naira per kilowatt to reflect the partial impact of inflation and movement of forex. In the light of strong public interest on this matter, the media is hereby requested to retract their earlier publication misinforming electricity consumers nationwide about a purported 50% increase in electricity tariff. The Commission remains committed to protecting electricity consumers from failure to deliver on committed service level under the service-based tariff regime. And finally, any customer that has been impacted by any rate increase beyond the above provision of the tariff order should report to the Commission at their customer complaint desk. These are basically some other details on the snipers that we reeled out earlier. Okay, we'll just go straight to talking talking about these issues by starting with the first item that we have here, which is the comment that's coming from Ali Ndume in respect of advising or telling the president to sack his cabinet as they have failed Nigerians. What's your take on this, Eddie Ochidbo?
Thank you very much, Ahis. The issue of service shifts, I'm sure most Nigerians are even tired of it. So it's a tired issue that people are tired of talking about it, but it keeps reoccurring because of the worsening insecurity in the country. So Ndume, like you said, we in politics, Nigerian politics, you have cliques. If you fall out and then from a certain this thing, you'll be seen to them as with a spirit of animosity against them.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So I don't want to look at it through that prism that because they fell out because of the issue of Senate President Adamo and the rest, he shouldn't talk. He's entitled to his opinion at all times to say anything he wants to say, especially given the fact that he's a people's representative. He's representing the people, and he knows how the shoe pinches. He knows how he's feeling. He himself now, I'm sure he cannot just go to his village or town there, either be or the southern Borno to cross his leg and sit outside and relax. No, he can't. No. So this is so. It's mine. It's very curious. It's a very, very curious issue that, irrespective of all these appeals, counter appeals, pleadings, beggings, change this thing, the president still remains adamant. So it makes it very, very curious to me. What is it that the president and his service chief know that we don't know?
No, but now Ali Ndume expanded it beyond the service chief. Now he's talking about the cabinet as a whole.
I just want to emphasize the major issue. Issue. That is the major issue. Cabinet or cabinet, you cannot sweep away that none of them have. There are some of the ministers who may have performed here and there. So you cannot just give a blanket condemnation that they have not performed. No, I don't believe in things like that. There are ministers that are actually doing their work and then they are performing there, but there are many who are just dead woods who are not doing anything. So no wonder he extended that call. But the call majorly has been around service chiefs. Okay. And our major problem today in the country, if we can solve it, it may be economy and every other thing will improve, is insecurity.
Okay.
So if let him start with the service chiefs, if you can, not even the entire cabinet. Let there be some. You cannot be doing the same thing and expect different results. That's insanity. We need to say the fact the way it is. And so it's curious that despite all this outcry, the president does not believe in changing his cabinet or his service chiefs, and is satisfied with them, and things are not going the right way.
Things are not going the right way is what Eddie Ochidbo is saying, and because of that, the call for the sack of the cabinet by Senator Ali Ndume is called for, right?
Yes, I'm in support of it.
Okay, now still staying with the Ali Ndume call for sack of the cabinet and the general Nigerian attitude of leaving the message and attacking the messenger. Do you think it's something that would augur well for good governance and development or strengthening of our democracy?
First and foremost, for us to talk about good governance at all, we must have some kind of attitudinal rebate. Because what is happening to us is not just political.
Okay.
It's attitudinal. It has to do with vested interests. So it's multifaceted.
Okay.
So if I react to that, I'll just say that whether we like it or not, we should tell ourselves the home truth. That is the first major step to be taken, rather than looking at things through the prism of ethnicism, of tribal, religion. It will hold us back. Let the political leadership sit together from all the geopolitical zones.
Yeah.
And talk to themselves. No, we're not even talking about any conference or all this. Let them talk to themselves. Home truths. That as leaders, where are we going wrong? What should we do to, bring back the trust? Because there's no trust between the people and government.
Deficit.
Terrible trust deficit, like never before. And when you talk about it, people like Adesina, they say you are a wailing wailer and all this. Let the president know the truth. Let us forge ahead properly, because we cannot afford, as always stated by our colleagues, that nobody is greater than this country. Nobody should be above the law.
Yeah.
Let all of us have equal rights as a country, because if we are talking about democracy, government of the people, by the people, for the people, then we should do things that way instead of this jackboot approach, of things. And when what you talk, people, you are attacked. We cannot go anywhere if we don't want to welcome constructive criticisms.
Okay. Now, from that, let's go to our second item that we have slated for today, which is the national identity number that there has been a call for enrollment and linking of all of it. Now, that there was a call, yes, it's something in the right direction because of security purpose. But we are looking at the time where people are gathered, because for all of the centers that I have gone to, I would say there's nothing like following the COVID-19 protocol. And it is so sad to the point that monies have started exchanging hands and all of that. Now, looking at it, is the call the right call at this time? Let's start from there.
First and foremost, the call is not good, well timed. The call is good but wrongly timed, because the live wire of most Nigerians is on their phone.
Yeah.
If you seize that power, because that's the only thing they can use to even connect to the next little business to go and pick 1,000 or 2,000. If you stop all these things, with a blanket effect, it will not work. Because if we look at the issues, yes, insecurity is a very big problem for us. So I sympathize with the government, actually, because I think they have too many things to chew. They are overwhelmed. Look at killings. The issue of NIN and the rest is coming because of insecurity. And if you weigh it, you look at it properly, yes, we are overwhelmed. You cannot travel. People are being killed on a daily basis. But the NIN thing, linking COVID-19, is what I look at, say, okay, perhaps that call for the NIN is like trying to throw the baby away with the bathwater. Because if you are trying to protect that in one swoop here, and then you now encourage more deaths, it's just like trying to address infection. Yes, you are trying to address one problem and creating 3, 4, 5 more problems for yourself. So it needs a thinking through, and rather than rush this issue of giving ultimatum, I think that's what is even creating
actually on the 19th
yes,
deadline.
yes, that's what is creating the tension.
Yeah.
Rather than rush, the government should sit down. The authority concerned should sit down. Let's make this thing gradual. If you rush, okay, now look at a lot of people we catch.
Yeah.
You see the spike, and then there's even a new variant. That's the worst. If that one comes to Nigeria and they don't spread fast, it's going to be a problem. So I think the NIN issue is ill-timed. They should look at it properly. This one are given 19 how many days from now that they will stop everybody. No, the thing is not even because first of all, the NIMC, the organization or what they call themselves, they are understaffed.
Management Commission.
Yes, they are understaffed.
Yeah.
One of the coordinators in Kano spoke this morning. It was a network program, and he was saying that look, we are overwhelmed. If the government should give us state of the art equipment to be able to to handle these things. If you don't do this, how can you give one swoop this thing that this it can't work? Instead, you create more problems. When you are trying to solve one problem, you create more problems. So it's ill-timed. It's welcome, but ill-timed. It should be reviewed so that people will do this thing without rushing.
All right, you're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM. We'll quickly take a commercial break. When we come back, we will go on with this discussion and, of course, talk about the rumored electricity increment and, of course, statement coming from the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission in debunking any such thing. All right, welcome back from that commercial timeout. You're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM, and my guest on the program today is Eddie Ochibo, a veteran journalist and media strategist. Before we took this commercial break, we were talking about the National Identity Number enrollment that is ongoing and how the crowd at these registration centers or enrollment centers can impact negatively on the health of people when we in respect of the COVID-19, as the protocol is seen to have been flagrantly broken or abandoned. Now, another major thing that is coming out of this is the fact that it has also created an avenue for people to start to squeeze or milk out money from Nigerians, because it is said that when there is no giver, there will be a taker. And the issue of bribe, both the giver and the receiver are both guilty of this. Now, Nigerians are going through this cycle. Most Nigerians bribe before they get enrolled. Why is there need for us to even go out of our ways to pay money to do this? Of course, many people will say because of the short time frame that is left for everybody to get enrolled, because the closing date where SIM cards that have not been linked with the national identity number will be deregistered is on the 19th of January, which is roughly about 14 days from today. And I'll tell you, we have quite a lot of Nigerians that have not yet been enrolled. Now, looking at the corruption angle to it, with all of this fire brigade approach to this whole process, is it not creating an avenue for corruption? And why should Nigerians even pay as much as from 300 naira, just the way it's happening at Kagoro Hall here in Kaduna, to up to like 10,000, where in the case of Port Harcourt and Lagos, because these are informations that we are getting from those ends. Eddie.
I'm sick and tired of some of this kind of things in this country, because why on earth should the common man, because everything is targeted at the common man, increase in that, increase in this, increase, and then you have so many datas.
Yeah,
we have BVN. The common man suffer to get BVN, tire for rain and so on. You have driver's license, you have
the voters card,
you have
international passport.
what is really wrong? How can't we harmonize this in once and for all? Now, because insecurity is there.
So the cards at the point of registration, biometrics were also taken.
That's what I'm saying. So if we do need now, insecurity will stop or what? I look, with all this confusion, even the people who take advantage of non-registration of SIM cards and all these things, they are taking advantage of it because there are multiple databases they can enter into. Some of this, hack it. You have BVN, have all these things. So which are we going to follow? When is it going to be harmonized? These are some of the things we should ask ourselves. Well, each time you just make people to go and suffer. The issue of 2 weeks, as I sit here, I've been to several places. I didn't want to go and do anything. When I see crowd, I run away from there. I don't want to go and contract. I'm 60 plus some this year. I don't even want to go and contract anything. COVID-19.
Yeah.
So the government should review it and give it a gradual approach. This is just can't work. If they stop the operation of our SIMs and the rest,
yes,
it's not going to affect the people alone. Even the economy will be affected because most of the things we do it digitally, and so the government should review it. Pantami should go and look at this properly. Let them sit down and see how it can be gradually attained.
Yeah. All right. The program is Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM. Let's now look at the last item we have today, which is the rumored 50% increment on electricity tariff. But from the press release coming from the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, there is a marginal increase of between 2 naira and 4 naira, depending on the tariff band that you belong to. Eddie.
Yeah,
electricity increment.
Thank God it's disregarded now as a rumor because it was creating all kinds of misinformation.
Yes, they disregarded 50%, but they said there's a between 2 naira and 4 naira increment.
No, but apart from that, increase is increase.
Yeah,
increase is increase,
and this is because of inflation and exchange rates.
So it's
are Nigerians buying electricity in dollars that exchange rate would even be a factor here.
So we thank God at least it's not 50% increase, but increase of 2, 3, 4, all the percentages. So it's increase and it affects the people. The people are being milked. The people cannot be the cash cow of government. People cannot continue to subsidize the government. Let them look for ways on how to encourage the people, especially in the area of entrepreneurship, in the area of little business, SMC and all this, rather than creating that difficult part. Now you cannot access anything from the bank to say you want to do a little business. Who will give it to you? Except of course if you have people who can assist you, but in most cases banks don't give loans to this. So government should look at how to create more avenues for people, especially the youths, to partake, even if it is vocational training and do this, not this how do you call it, legislators buying of bike and
not
how do they call them now, something
poverty alleviation
of the garden the way they call it now, so
palliative,
but not palliative. In the National Assembly, they are
constituency.
Yes,
they should not use distribution of wheelbarrows, motorcycles, and constituency projects.
And all this. No, we are talking about re-identifying people who that if you give them this vocation, they become useful, and their GDP will improve. People who that technically they can do things like electricians. Empower them, rather than going around the circle and creating more problems for the masses. This issue of going to do need now is too much. Some people are going at 4 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yes,
and they rely on daily income. They go there,
being on the queue.
They will not get it. The little money they have, they give it, and they will not even still give them.
Yeah.
They will not get any income for that day. They go hungry. I mean, we should sympathize with the masses, please.
So sad and so unfortunate that is happening. Well, Let's open up the phone lines for people to add their voice to our conversation this evening, and also reminding you that you can also go to the Invicta FM Facebook page, Invicta FM Kaduna, where you see the post. Add your voice to it. The video or live video stream of this program is going on. You can also add your voice to it or invite people to a watch party. All right, let's see who our first caller is this morning. Hello, good morning.
This evening.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome to Ground Zero.
Eddie, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Kure is the name.
Good evening, Kure.
Thank you. You see, issue of Ndume and so, me, I don't believe. He's just saying, I think Eddie have said it. He's entitled to his opinion. But I was expecting them to team up as lawmakers to make it as a law. The president should know everything. It's only him is the knife, is the meat. So things are not done like that. We are not in banana republic. Everything to what the president wants is what he will do. Can you imagine? Now the IGP want to is lobbying now so that he too will remain, because he has seen his superior are still hanging there. So why him? So that's the situation we find ourselves. About this NIN thing, I did it under my daughter's laptop. It's only one network that I cannot be able to access his number that I will link to them.
Okay.
But nevertheless, I'm still trying. When I get their number, and then I can link it through. But the issue of COVID-19 has stopped people. My wife went that day. They said that they are on holiday. So how am I going to choke up, or how my wife will go and choke up in the midst of people like that when there's no social distance?
Yeah.
It's foul. Eddie have already said it. It can't work. If they should block SIM card, they are the one that are losing. Me, I don't have anything to do. Initially, I think I was the last person that bought a card and phone in my working place.
Yeah.
Finally, about this issue of what is the charges? This thing that you
electricity tariff.
Yes, your station says it this afternoon now. That's 50%. Don't worry, I don't tell them. We will continue stealing the light as other people are stealing it. Because me, I cannot imagine. The time I was having to pay meter, 2,000, I would take 3 to 4 months. But now they are bringing bill for me, 12,000, 13,000. Am I having sachet water factory or what? They should continue. I keep on saying it. This administration, the only thing that they know how to do is best. It's only to suffer the common man. But God will give us somebody that will take us to the promised land. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kure. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, Mr. Cook. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Eddie Achubo, good evening. My name is Musa Bala.
Musa Bala, good evening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
On the issue of Ndime statement, I think since the time Ndime was remanded in the prison, there has been one statement and the other. It's entitled to his opinion so long he did that within the confines of the law. But what I want Nigerians to understand is that each and every individual person is unique in one way or the other, including governors and presidents. I always ask this question: did the president break any law by keeping these people? And I've not been given any answer with regard to that. Did he violate any part of the constitution? We are more than 200 million Nigerians. And the fact that Mr. President did not listen to my opinion or your opinion, that does not mean that Mr. President is always wrong. We should know him from the beginning that he's somebody who is not interested in changing people anyhow. I'll give you an example. The service he inherited from Jonathan, he kept them for almost a year. That's the first time in the history of Nigeria. Nobody talk. The same president inherited the CBN governor from Jonathan. He did not even renew his appointment, despite the fact that the Naira he fluctuated, administrative reform more than any time in the history of Nigeria. When Gobe eventually became the CBN governor, Naira was $160. Now it's about 500 and something. And he still maintained, he renewed his appointment. So the president will change the service chiefs whenever he feels so. But if the president breaks any law, please, we should be told that he has violated this part of the constitution. But people should not just be saying that the president must do that, must do that. It is his prerogative power to do that. That is why he was elected by majority of Nigerians. And on the issue of memes, Nigerians have a political culture whereby they have what we call this fire brigade approach. I was surprised to hear that my big friend yet have not even do this thing after being there for more than years.
I have not registered.
I even went to get the card, but the card now they are not recognizing what is on it.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? When it has been there for years now.
Yeah, I did it about 7 years ago, but they are not recognizing that card. So
don't you have your number? What the National Communication Commission needs is your number, not your card.
That's the card I got. I don't know whether they give me any.
I said the card has number. We don't need the card. Give the number. You're free. VVN that we keep our money. People refuse to go and have their VVN number until the deadline is set. There is nothing that Nigerians went on their own and take it silently. So it's our political culture. The same Nigerians that we are criticizing the government that people collect SIM card without due registration. Now the government wants to start something good. And we are saying that
nobody is against this, Musa, but I say it should be gradual. Let it not affect the people.
No. Now we want to protect security. Lastly, yes. On the issue of electricity hike, I know those people who are interested in hearing this news were quick to start sharing it. Thank God that the electricity company came out to debunk it. So it means it's a fake story. Please, my usual call to Nigeria. We should not equate Nigeria with President Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari will soon leave as the next president. And then we have our next president. So why are we trying to bring down Nigeria simply because he's the president? By the time that he leaves, we will now start healing our wounds. So we should be able to differentiate between an individual and a state. This is Nigeria. He is one of the Nigerian people. Now he's the president. And he has a limited time. And I'm very sure my president will not behave like Trump. Good evening.
All right, thank you, Musa Bala. Let's take this other call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. Hello. Oh, we lost that call. 081400989 and 07087800989 are the numbers to dial. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. You are welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Mama Umi from Regasa.
All right, Mama Umi, let's have your take.
I heard they are saying that one name you can use it, well, more than one person can use one name.
One name number, more than one person?
Yes, that's what I heard from people saying.
No, that is not possible. That is not possible because it's a unique number that is attached to one person. Two people can't use one name number.
That's why people are supposed to check about it because they've been saying, have been hearing people saying rumors about it.
That's what I'm debunking now. It is not possible.
And please, we are begging them to increase the registration unit. They should increase it the way they are doing their election.
Okay.
They should increase the places because the places is too scanty.
Okay.
And the population there is too much for the COVID-19 protocol.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mama Umi. How I wish I have a bell. I would have rang my bell for in a while now. We've not had women calling in. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, sir. Happy New Year to both of you there.
Happy New Year to you too.
This is Mr. Sam calling you from Rome.
All right, Mr. Sam, let's have your take.
Yeah, first of all, I want us to seriously look at what is disturbing the masses or what is disturbing Nigerians instead of we trying to do PRO for the government. It's just they say what is enough for the rice. Now, regarding these memes, my brothers, I'm telling you, some of these are policy makers. They will just wake up one day and start causing problems for the masses. What is the need? Now, another governor or minister will wake up and tell us by next year that this thing is cancelled. I'm telling you, they are just pretending over these COVID protocols. I'm telling you, this morning, I'm just coming from the train station. If you see what happened there this morning, I'm wondering if they are just deceiving us about this COVID issue. Because somebody is supposed to be selling tickets, they lock up the whole place. Somebody went to pray until the whole place was so freed of jam-packed. and they came and started, one person started selling, and see how the crowd, my brother, all these memes and all these COVID issues is becoming something that people are no longer taking serious, because those on top, they are not serious about this thing. Then the issue of tariff, I'm saying that this government should be sensitive to the plight of the masses. They are pushing people to the wall, because Nigerians are very patient. I always tell you this: Nigerians, we are very patient, but look at NSAS issue, because they push people to the wall. All these increments, tariff increment, this and that. Fair. They say even the tariff. I learned last year. They say Labour will look into it this January with the government. Why increment again? Please, those that can advise them, let them tell the government, because they are pushing people to the wall. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Sam from Angwan Romi. Okay, let's come back to the studio and take our roundups this evening. Eddie Ochigbo, what would be your parting shots on the program today?
My parting shot would be a kind of analogy of the situation we find ourselves, especially against the backdrop of regulations, movement of the people and the rest of them, in respect of this COVID-19. That we are some kind of, a lot of outcry from religious bodies and so on and so forth on the issue of, gathering, not cross overnight and the rest of them. And even if you look back when it started, the issue of mosques, during the fasting,
yes.
So it has affected both religions and faith. Faith, is one of the strongest pillars of Nigeria as a country. So if anything is affecting the faith of these both religions, it's minus for us. So if you say you want to do that in some kind of regulations so that people don't get this in churches and all these things, and then that's on one hand. Then on the other hand, you bring the issue of NIN, now where people are, heel over heads, fighting and doing. You don't talk anything about it. You look the other way. How do you reconcile it?
Yeah.
That only the government begin to reconcile some of its policies. You say people should not go for this because of that. You stop. How the Salah is.
Yes,
it was stopped.
Yeah.
Mid last year when and today crossing over, which is so important to Christians, stopped in most of the states, the country. So, and then now you say, okay, people should with a shoddy arrangement, you say people must go and get their NIN, and then the next 14 days, if they don't get, you shut them down. You shut down the country, because I still emphasize that less than 50%, have been able to get that NIN issue.
Yeah.
I think 30-40%. So how do you shut down majority, and you think the economy will go right? Let them rethink that thing, and then begin to reconcile some of these issues. You regulate here, you don't regulate there. You are not consistent in your regulation. It should be consistent.
All right. Government regulations should be consistent. Nigerians should be careful when moving around. Like a very respected medical personnel earlier on in the studio this morning did make a statement that I was very impressed. He said government should try to balance what they do. One agency cannot be doing things that is working against another agency, because the COVID-19 presidential committee is giving came out with a protocol, and the minister for communication and digital economy is giving another instruction that is going to run counter
to what
the presidential
protocol is.
Yes.
And the presidential committee now is not saying
anything about it. They need to harmonize whatever they do and speak with one voice. And that's about the size of today's program. I must have to go now, but like always, I'll say this to you, that whatever your labors and aspirations in this noisy confusion of life, we should learn to keep peace with our soul, with all its drudgery and broken dreams. It's a beautiful world that we live in. We should strive to be happy. Eddie Ochigbo, thank you so much for having time to be on Ground Zero today.
My pleasure.
And also to you, the listener, and all those that called in, I sincerely appreciate your call, and would also encourage you to go to our various social media platforms where the conversation is going to continue even after the program. I'll be on again on Saturday for another package of the program, Ground Zero, right on Invicta 98.9 FM. Plant a tree today, nurture it, and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all.